Today is a super important day. Our fantasy stories, they're not due until next Tuesday, but today you need to write a flash draft. Okay, so a flash draft is your full story for the first time. So let me remind you about what we've done over the last few days. Okay, we started by generating ideas. All right, looking for inspiration in the real world and looking at settings, different kinds of settings and possibilities for settings in our fantasy worlds. We started with that to generate ideas, and then we chose one of those ideas and we looked at how we might develop specific things about that story. So developing the characters, developing the setting. We're talking about the plot. And we moved on to planning the plot. And we worked on story arcs. We developed characters a bit more, settings more. And these numbers here, do you guys know what these numbers represent? This 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know what they represent? What does that mean? Anybody know? I can't see the chat, so if you have an answer, you can just say it. Anybody? Not sure? Okay, well, I'll tell you in a second. So for today, as you write your flash draft, okay, these are the things that are important to remember. Close your eyes, envisioning your character moving through their world. Okay, so the big thing here, and it's something I've said 100 times this year, is show me, don't tell me. So we got to show the world to our reader. So you got to get into the character's head and show the world as they see it, right? So the sights, the sounds, the smells, the touch, the taste, right? You've got to create that for your reader. You got to make them feel like they're in the world, okay? Put on the glasses. Next, break your arc into scenes. So these numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, think of them as scenes in a movie, right? So your introduction, your first scene in the story, deal with that in one chunk, right? This is my first scene. This is where the egg hatches and the bird flies out. That's my first scene in the story. My second scene is when my main character is sitting in school and he looks around and he sees everything shaking, but he can't feel it because he was in an accident and he lost all feeling from the neck down. So he's seeing the world shake, but he can't feel it. Okay, that's my second scene. And then my third scene, and then I go on like that. So I want you to think of your story in chunks or scenes, okay? Third, narrative techniques, okay? Don't forget the narrative techniques that you've learned this year, okay? This story is like your last chance to put everything you've learned about writing on display. And you've really done so much that we're actually in danger of forgetting some of it. So think about the things we do as a reader of fiction and as a writer. So dialogue, right? Dialogue, inner thinking, detailed descriptions. Remember, step-by-step actions, right? Those important parts of the story, we go small actions, right? Step by step by step. What is the character doing, right? We show that to the reader. And so as you work today, I want you to remind yourself of these things, but don't spend too much time on them, right? Don't spend 30 minutes today writing dialogue, right, to fix one part of your story. The goal of today is really to get it all down. We're going to spend the next 4 or 5 days going back in and revising and looking at specific things, okay? So if you have no other questions, or if you have no questions, you can close this and get started. If you have questions, please hang around here, and I will answer them for you. Okay, so good luck with your writing. I'll be in your document offering some support, and I'll see you in there.